Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. I am so excited to be playing with this palette again today. This is the Phantasia palette from Devinah Cosmetics. I mean, it's a unicorn. It's a unicorn. And then the inside looks just like this. These beautiful, beautiful shades. They're so gorgeous. If you have never tried Devinah before, they send you the little shades like in little single packets, and then you can place them in the palette how you want. This is a magnetic palette. So I just arranged mine like putting all of the shimmer shades right here and then just doing all the mattes, but you can arrange it however you want, which I do like that. I wish more companies did this so you can just kind of do the layout how you would like it. But I knew I had to have this palette the moment I saw it released because it's a unicorn and I love unicorns. If you can see by my background, I'm wearing cute little unicorn earrings today, and I'm wearing a unicorn on my shirt today, if you can see it right there. I'm obsessed with them. I love them so very much. They're beautiful. So I know I had to have this palette, so I will be doing some live swatches with this palette as well as two different eye looks. Spoiler, I did use this palette yesterday. I should have filmed the look, but I didn't, and I ended up loving that look, so I am going to recreate that look on one eye, and I'm going to do the other shades that are left on the other eye. So there'll be two looks with this palette, so if all of that sounds interesting, let's go ahead and get started. We have the beautiful Phantasia palette from Devinah Cosmetics. I had to have this palette. I mean, it's a unicorn. It's a beautiful, beautiful unicorn, and I had to have it. And then, of course, on the back, we have Devinah Cosmetics. Now, if you have never ordered or tried Devinah Cosmetics before, like I haven't either, this will be my first time, they do send these pans to you, like, in little packets, so then you can place them in the palette how you want them. They're magnetic, so I have them all wrote down so I don't have to constantly take them out of the palette. They're magnetic, so you can move them around. I just rearranged mine like this, just had all the shimmer shades and then did the matte shades in here. And some of these names, I hope I'm pronouncing them right. I will put them up on the screen as I'm swatching so you can see the names as well. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the shade Starborn, Ember Rain, and Frostbane. I'm so excited to swatch these. This palette come in yesterday in the mail, and I said I weren't going to touch it until I was able to film. Oh my goodness. Those are so beautiful. Then we have the shades Storm Rider, Astrea, and Fire Gaze. Astrea is a matte shade. This will be the first matte I'll be swatching from this brand. Oh, that matte is, wow. These are just so beautiful. Look at these shades. Then we have Cassius, Lucius, and Magnus. There again, I might be pronouncing those wrong, so I will be popping the names up on the screen so you can see them. Let me pick up a little bit more of that shade. There we go. I mean, just wow. And here is the entire palette swatched out. I cannot wait to put this all over my eyes. These are beautiful and lovely, and look at that shade right there. How it shifts to that pretty like teal color to like a purpley pink. And I will be inserting some swatches right here as well, me showing this palette outside in natural lighting. I just filmed this right on my porch so you can just see them, you know, not under a ring light like what you were seeing originally. I'm going to start with the shade Cassius on a blending brush from e.l.f. And I'm going to start stamping that into my crease. This is the same look I wore yesterday, and oh my goodness, I fell in love with it. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it right now. So I thought I'd recreate that look on this side, and then we'll use the shades remaining on the other eye. Now this shade was really soft, so I did have to build this shade up a little bit yesterday when I was using it for the first time. I don't personally mind that, because that way I know I'm not picking up too much too soon. And then I found that really pressing that shade in before blending really helped get most of that pigment down. So I'm just pressing that into that crease. And on that same brush, I'm just taking a little bit of my face powder and then just working around those edges just to blend it out. I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte Press powder. On that same brush, I'm going to take the shade Lucius, and I'm just going to tap that shade on this outer corner. Working it into that crease as well. And then just start blending between those two shades right here in the crease. I've wiped off most of the pigment from this brush. I'm just going to blend them together now. Then on a concealer brush from e.l.f., I'm going to take the shade Storm Rider, and I am going to be spraying my brush with some setting spray. And then I'm going to press that right here in the very center of my lid. Because I have one more shade I'm going to be putting on my lid in the more inner portion. I'm going to put this shade down first. Look how absolutely beautiful that shade is. And using that same brush, I'm going in with the shade Frost Bane. And this shade I'm going to place right here on the beginning portion of my lid. And it has that pretty blue in it, like a pretty blue-purple shimmer. I mean, just look at that. Devinah Cosmetics, I know you will probably never see this video, but just know that you probably will be sending a lot of orders my way because I plan to order more from you. Then I'm just going to kind of take my finger and then just tap in the middle of those two shades just to blend them a little bit. Look at that. Beauty. Just pure beauty. Okay, I'm just going to put on some mascara and a lash, and I already know I'm going to be wearing these right here. This is Ioni's 3D Foaming Lashes in Natural Light Wispy. Just look like that. They're a really pretty, more subtle pair of false eyelashes, and I really do love them. Okay, on a small angle brush from e.l.f., I'm going in with the shade Lucius. And I'm going to place that on the outer portion of my lower lash line, just taking that about halfway. Same brush, going in with the shade Cassius. And that shade I'm going to place right here on the beginning portion of that lower lash line, meeting up with that other shade right in the center. Then I'm going to take the shade Starborn on a small precision brush from e.l.f. And that is going to go right here on the inner corner. I didn't spray my brush, but you could if you wanted to create more of an even bigger impact. Swooping that right in here. And then dragging it a little bit under the lower lash line too. And here is look number 1 all done. Okay, I'm going to take the shade Astrea on a blending brush from e.l.f. Now this half of the palette, I'm going in a little more blindly because I haven't used these shades yet. I'm going to press that shade in first and then I'll do blending, get all of the pigment down first. And just like with the other side, I'm just taking my Rimmel powder and going around those edges just to blend that out, make sure everything is seamless. Using that same brush, I'm going in with the shade Magnus. And we'll press that on this outer corner of my eye. I didn't pick up a lot, so I'll probably have to go back in with some. I wanted to start out with a small amount. I like to tap most of that pigment off and then just kind of start blending that in. Then I'm going to take the shade Ember Rain on a concealer brush from e.l.f. and I will be spraying my brush with some setting spray. Okay, and then I'm going to press that right in here. Now that's pretty because it's got like, it kind of shifts to a brown so it blends right in with that crease color and that matte shade on the outer corner. So that is lovely. And then it has like this pretty blue shift to it. Gosh, that shade is so lovely. I love how it kind of goes to like a brown, so it really blends in really nicely. Same brush, I'm going in with the shade Fire Gaze. I sprayed my brush with some setting spray on that one too, and I'm going to press that right here on this inner corner. That is really lovely. These shimmer shades are beautiful in this palette. Okay, so I'm just going to do the mascara and then put this lash over here, and I'll be right back to do the lower lash line. I'm going to go in with the shade Magnus on a small angled brush from e.l.f. And I'll place that on this outer half of my lower lash line. Same brush, I'm going in with the shade Astrea, and that's going on the beginning portion of my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take the shade Starborn on a small precision brush from e.l.f. and that's going to go on the inner corner, dragging it some on the lower lash line and then kind of swooping that up into here a little bit just to match the other side. And here is look number 2, all done. And there you have both eye looks done. I love this palette. I can go ahead and say it right now. When I wore these shades yesterday, they lasted all day. They didn't crease, they didn't fade, they didn't muddy, they didn't do anything. They lasted, and I really am so happy that I got this eyeshadow palette. It was worth every single penny. And if you were looking at this palette and thinking about purchasing it, I don't think you'd be disappointed with the quality at all. Especially if you already know and love Devinah Cosmetics formula. This was my first time trying the brand and I am so happy that I did. I really love both of these looks. I like that this one you have more of the purple, the blue, and then over here it's really more of like a more neutral look, so I like that you get kind of the best of both worlds in this palette. I really do love it. And the packaging, of course, with the unicorn, just really beautiful palette overall. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell notification so you are alerted to all of my future posts. And please make sure to follow me over on Instagram at Jessica Dearly, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!